This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Flagstaff Super Lite model 29 RBS. All right. This video it's just a simple video, and it'll go through some of the features, tells you how to work the various functions, how to work the various appliances. I know we're up close and the camera work isn't the best, but there's a lot of information for those who don't know it. So first of all, you've got power stabilizer jacks on the front and the rear. So you'll have one switch will operate both rear, and the switch up front to operate both front. So you just push extend here, and you can see there they go up, down, and then back up again. Now you don't lift the trailer with it, obviously. You're just going to take the wiggle out of it. Stabilize it, okay? You have a long power awning with an LED strip, of course. You've got an outside kitchen. Now down here you have an LP disconnect. You can see it right there. And it's a quick connect fitting, and you can use it for your grill, or you can use it for this this cooktop here that pulls out. You would plug it in down here. So you got the male side of a quick connect fitting. And of course this is just a two-burner cooktop there. You also have let's get this, a refrigerator. Works on a 110 AC, so as soon as you plug in the trailer, it turns on. All right. And this sprayer will plug into any spray ports. There's one right here. Yeah, right here. There might be another one on the other side. We'll take a look, but that's what that's for. All right, so you have a TV mount here. You also have a signal out plus power, so you can watch TV outside. You got outside speakers. This vent right here is for the range hood. So in order to vent to the outside using your range hood fan, you have to push up on those tabs. I don't know if you can see them, but there's one on each side. You push it up and there's a baffle in there that'll flap freely. So you want it to flap freely so it vents to the outside when you're using the range hood fan, okay? This is the furnace exhaust. This is your water heater. It's both gas and electric, either or both. And the switches to operate it are inside. Now this, I just want to show you, this is the drain plug right here. It's also an anode rod, so it's very long. It's 6 or 8 inches long. This is a 6-point, 1.16" socket that'll fit on here. You have to get one of those, plus an extension so you can get your ratchet, swing your ratchet. So keep in mind you have to have that. All right. And this is your gas valve, obviously, and this behind this cover here is your electric heating element. Never turn the heating element on without water in the tank, because it'll burn out in less than a minute. You'll have to replace it. So you always want to hook up your fresh water, and then you go and you'll turn a hot water tap or a hot water faucet on inside. And if it's empty, if this is empty, it'll be spurting air out of the faucet, and then as it fills, it'll be a combination of air and water. When you get solid water coming out of the hot water side, you know that it's full. So always make sure it's full before you turn it on. Now, this little hole here, you'll see a few of them. This allows you to crank the opposing slide room, which would be this one right here, manually if you had problems with it. So I can't really show you through here. Let me see if I can get down low and show you, go underneath and show you where it's at. Let me see, I'm looking at the monitor here. Please bear with me. Well, I'm not having luck there. Right here, there we go, we'll do it this way. Well, all right, right there. All right, so you can see it right there underneath. And if you go straight through the hole, it's straight through. You can put a crank on it and crank the opposing slide out in manually. You have another one here for the other slide room. And the crank you would use is this long one here with a cylinder with a slot cut in it on the end. And what you're hooking it to is a shaft with a pin going through it, so that cylinder will slide right over it, and the pin that goes through it will slide into the slots on that crank, and you'll be able to crank it. Okay? It takes about 1 million cranks, but it's well worth it if you have trouble. Okay? Your stairs fold in and out of the trailer. Make sure you clean them off good before you flip it in there. You'll flip the dirt inside. To adjust the length of the legs, you're just going to push up on this right here and adjust them up and down accordingly. There's one on each leg. All right. So then here's the front stabilizer switch for both fronts. This is in case you want to buy a solar battery charger, a panel that you would sit down here, and if you plugged it in, you'd plug it right into here and it'll charge your batteries, in this case batteries. All right. This is your hitch. It's a Husky center line weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control, so it's a good one. We'll teach you how to use that when you pick up your trailer. Also behind that, I don't know if you can see, but there's a metal, let me turn the light on, see if it helps. There's a metal table that hangs next to the grill rack. In this case, it's not a grill, it's a griddle. It has like a griddle plate. And then behind that, the table you can see is the rack itself, and then the actual griddle appliance all the way down. I'll open the other side and show it to you from there. But okay, and also, we got a second crank right here. That one is used on the power tongue jack. If it was to fail, you can pull this plug, put the crank on there, and crank it manually also in an emergency. Okay? All right. So, yeah, two 30-pound LP tanks that are full. It's got an automatic changeover regulator. You've, of course, got the power tongue jack here with a hitch light, and then goes up and down also, of course. Under here you have two deep cycle marine batteries. They're wired together so it still outputs 12 volts. It just doubles the storage capacity, okay? And also there's a switch here. It's very hard to see, but if you can see it right there, it's a kill switch for the battery. So you can turn the battery on and off if you need to. I'll have to speak up here so you can hear me. Alright, so there's the griddle I told you about, and then there's the rack that hangs on, and way about in the middle is the metal table, the utility table. Okay, now this thing hanging on the wall here is a power inverter. This unit has an inverter and has a converter. This inverter basically inverts 12 volt DC, which is it takes from the batteries, and inverts it to 120, 110, 120 AC, so you can run a regular appliance. All right. You can't invert the entire trailer. You're not going to be able to create enough power to run the air conditioner or, all the AC appliances. Generally, just the refrigerator or a couple receptacles will be hooked up to. We'll look inside to see which one it is, and there's also a button you'll push inside to turn it on and off. But we'll look at that when we get inside and see what we have. You're also going to have a power converter inside, which does the opposite. It goes from AC to DC power. So it'll convert regular AC current, 110 AC current, and convert it down to 12 volt DC. So you can go both ways with the power on this one. Okay, I'll do my best to explain that to you as we go. So these slide outs are made by Lippert. Now this here, the most common way to get water to the trailer is through the city water hookup. This is the freshwater fill tank. If you don't have city water on the campsite you're at, you can pre-fill this tank and then use the onboard water pump to pump the water. So everything will work just like you've got city water, but you'll be pumping out of the tank. Now if you come farther down, this is the actual city water hookup right here. That's the most common way to get water to the trailer. This one here is a black tank flush. So when you're going to have two gray tanks and one black. So let's look for all the valves here. So there's your black tank valve right there. Right, that's for toilet water and waste. Then you have your gray tank here, sink and shower water. And there's another valve here for your gray tank number 2, which is also called the galley tank. That's for your kitchen sink. So 2 gray tanks and 1 black. All the valves are down there. So you're always going to dump the black first because it's toilet water and waste, and then use the gray. It's cleaner dirty water than the black tank water to wash it out, right? Then if you leave the gate valve open, you can put your hose on here and turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of your black tank. It'll clean off the sensors and just do a good job cleaning it out. Make sure to leave the valve open, of course. You don't want too much pressure to build up inside, but it's a good thing to do. If you have a hose that you can screw on here at the dump station, always flush the black. Okay? And this one has to do with winterizing the trailer. You'll draw the antifreeze into the system through this port here. Okay? It's an outside shower. You got a hitch light here, or a utility light, I mean. You have a 30 or 35 foot, I think it's 30 foot, 50 amp shore cord, right? This is a 50 amp system, so it's designed, it's wired for 2 air conditioners anyway. Now, you get a reducer with it to reduce that to 30 amp, and then you get another one to reduce it down to 15-20. You can run everything in the trailer on that, except you can't run the air conditioner, obviously, on 15 or 20 amp, okay? It'll pop the circuit breaker eventually. So here you have it's pre-wired. You can see that this housing there is pre-wired for a backup camera. All right. You have a ladder so you can easily access the roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days or have somebody do it. So that entails going up there, looking at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water can get through. Make sure there was no damage to any of the roof fixtures like the vent covers or the roofing material by low branches or that sort of thing. Just give it a good inspection. If you see an issue, take care of it immediately. People generally don't inspect their roof enough, so it's very important. And that's not this trailer, that's every trailer ever made. They're all the same in that sense. Okay, so we're going to put the slide room out right now. So, slide room 1 out. There it goes right here. We're just going to hold our finger on the button until you hear the ratcheting noise. The ratcheting noise tells us we're all the way extended or all the way retracted, depending on which way we're going. And it does that so you can't overextend it or over-retract it. So it's coming up in a minute here. You see it drops right into place, so it's level with the floor. Okay. So you got your bedroom slide, or the bedroom slide here. This is your main slide. Your awning, extended retract, your power awning. I'm not going to go all the way with it, but I'll take it out a bit. Okay. And of course you have a light for it. Okay. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, make sure you roll it in. Okay. These are all lights here, except for this, which is your Wi-Fi Ranger. Now the Wi-Fi Ranger is the main function. It's a public Wi-Fi booster, basically. So there's an antenna on the roof, and what you'll do, it's hard to, I can't get a good picture from here because it's too high, but this sticker tells you that on the top line, that 1010, I'm going to try and guess what it says. I can't see it for it. Looks like 2752, I think. That's your Wi-Fi Ranger. So when you look at you and your family's phone and tablets, you'll find that under the Wi-Fi section, and you'll log into that. So you put a password in, so it always connects to that automatically. Then, if you look at the bottom line here, there's an address. You can punch this into a browser on your phone or tablet, whatever, and it'll take you to the page for this Wi-Fi Ranger. So you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees, right? The middle line is the temporary password. Change me now 2752. You'll obviously make up your own password. But when you get to that site and you see everything, then you could pick out the public Wi-Fi from the list of Wi-Fis that it sees. So if it says, Joe's Campground, and if it gives you a passcode, you could put that in there, or whatever you need to do, and you'll hook up to it, and it'll just boost the Wi-Fi signal. You get better, cleaner signal. Okay. Now there's a second function which I'm not going to go into, but if you want, you can get cellular service through it. You have to go through your cellular provider, and you'd pay a monthly fee to them, but basically you would have a cellular hookup. Okay. Most people just use the free Wi-Fi function. Also, you can use an app for this, so you can scan that thing. There's doohickey here, which I can't remember the name of right now. You scan it, and you'll get the information. Also, this is for your tire. There's a tire monitor that comes with this. That's what this one's for. Let me finish here before I talk about the tire monitor. So all the rest of these are, like I stated, are lights except the Wi-Fi Ranger. It takes about a minute to warm up. To turn your water heater pump on, or your water pump on, I'm sorry, right there. The water pump is used, like I stated, to pump water out of the freshwater tank if you don't have city water. Also, it's used for winterizing the trailer. You can turn your water heater on electric, it's right there. To turn it on gas, it's right there. Make sure there's water in the tank always. And you have tank heaters on this trailer. So all of the two gray tanks, the black tank and the freshwater tank, all have heating pads underneath them, and there's also wrap around generally the elbow by the valve area will have another wrap to heat up. And it just extends your camping season. You can stay out longer, go out earlier, that sort of thing. Alright, so your battery is charged, fresh water is empty, black water is empty, gray 1, gray 2, which is the galley tank, is empty. It'll graduate up in 1/3, oh, let's get a better picture, 1/3 increments as it fills. Once it gets past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping your gray and black tank. Okay? And let's see if there was something else I wanted to point out. No, that covers the entire panel. So getting over to the tire monitor, we're not going to teach you how it works right here. You can learn that when you pick up. But there's a battery in this, and it's charged. But you can also hook it right up to your cigarette lighter or any USB port in your tow vehicle. You see it right there. You got four tires. One of these yellow tires represents all each tire in your on your trailer. You also can program in, if you have a sensor in it, you can program in the spare tire. Now these when I say sensor, these tires have a sensor that's attached to the steel wheel inside the tire, directly opposite of the valve stem. So it comes that way, right? You can also get the type that screw onto your valve stem, like for your tow vehicle. You could get those, and then you could program those into here too, and this would be your tow vehicle, right? This front box here would be the tires on your tow vehicle. So you can program it pretty much any way you want. But you have built-in centers on the four wheels right now. If you want to add wheels, they either have to have a sensor on them, or you have to get the valve cap type of sensor. Okay, all right. So we'll go into that when you pick it up. I've only have a half hour, 28 minutes, something like that on this before this starts a new file. So I like to get it done in at one time here. Okay, I'm just looking around real quick here to see where we're at. Okay, so this is your range top. I told you that about. Let me get a light in here. I told you about the. There we go. I told you about the vent outside with the baffle in it to open up. So if you're running the fan, you want to open that baffle full, so that's to the outside. You also have a light there. This microwave works like any other microwave. Your range top, or your range period, runs on gas. I don't know if the gas is turned on, but we'll find out. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark. So let's see if we got any gas on. Yep, we do. So there you see it. You got 3 burners, 3 knobs, of course. Then you have this knob is for the oven. So the oven is a little different. All the way at the back here, there's a pilot light. Maybe I can spark it. There you go. You can see it back there. So in order to light the pilot light, you just push this in and go to the picture of the pilot light. Then you depress it and keep it depressed. You start sparking with the other hand, and after you see it light down here, you still hold it for another 10 seconds or so, and then go to operating temperature, right? Keep in mind when you shut this off, the pilot light goes out, so you have to relight the pilot light each time you want to use the oven. Okay. Now I was mentioning the power inverter, and I said I couldn't say if it was for the refrigerator or not. This is a 12-volt DC compressor refrigerator, so it runs on 12 volts. So this would run off the battery and the power converter. Remember I told you there's an inverter and a converter. So this is the inverter here. This goes from AC to DC power. So you have regular AC circuit breakers here like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. And you got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled, right? Also, when you're plugged in, obviously, to shore power, this will also sense how much energy your batteries need, and it'll keep them charged also. So the refrigerator is drawing from the battery, and the battery is being charged when you're plugged in by the power converter. When you're pulling it down the road, the batteries are being charged by your tow vehicle's alternator. So, okay? And it also charges the batteries, like I said. If these ever blow, these fuses here, they'll actually glow, and you can see them through this tinted plastic here also, okay? So that's power converter, AC to DC. All right, So let me look around real quick here. Hopefully I can find it without much effort. I probably won't though. Oh gosh. Well, while I'm standing here, I'll talk to you about the prep for the second AC. So the second air conditioner, if you were to get one, you have a 50 amp system because this is pre-wired for a second AC. It would fit right here in the vent. I'm sure that's what that sticker's telling you, but it drops right in there. And the sticker's here because the sensor, this would be zone 2, right? The main room would be zone 1. So the zone 2 sensor, the wires are behind here, so all you would have to do is hook it up to the sensor up to the wires there. That's all it's saying is prep for it, okay? All right. The rest of everything up here is self-explanatory. TV hookups, you can mount a backer here if you choose to. Lots of storage, lots of storage. Okay. All right, so let me come back here and look around a bit. Okay, well I'm gonna have to guess when we do this. Right here, I'm sorry. So this is a GFCI here, but it is inverted. It's an inverted circuit. So if you need to run any AC appliance and there's no AC power, I'm not talking about running the air conditioner because it can't do that. The technology is not there. But if you wanted to use a cooking pot or a hair dryer or whatever you're using, you would plug it into this one here because this is the one that's inverted. Okay? Inversion, as I stated, is going from DC, 12 volt DC to 110, 120 AC. So, okay. I know there's a lot of numbers, but it's kind of hard to keep track with it. But it's pretty simple once if you don't already know it, you just look into it a bit. So right now this is telling us this is the solar controller. You pay attention to B only. B, like I said, we have 2 batteries wired together as one to double the storage. Okay, so we got 100% storage in the battery there. 13.2 volts, which is perfect. We're getting 2.0 amps from the sun to the solar panel and to the battery, so we're gaining 2.0 and 100%. And let's go a little farther. 86 amp hours. So it tells you 4 different things: the percentage, the exact voltage right there, the amount of amps that are being gained by the sun by going. Whoops, let's go this way. Right there, you see this. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Oh, no, that's not right either. Give me a second, please. There we go. Sun to the solar panel, 1.9 volts. Okay. Now I can stop this from changing automatically. I just have to. I think it's this way. I think. Let's see if it stops. Yeah. So now when you push the button, it'll just stay there. So we got 13.2 in your batteries. We're gaining 1.8 amps right now. It just dropped to 1.7. A cloud must be going by. Your batteries are 100% charged, and you have 86 amp hours. Okay. Now, this is also because it's a solar panel. If you get in an emergency and you don't have any power and your phones are dead, you can charge it right here using the sun. If you plug your phone into that, for example. Okay. It also has Bluetooth, so keep in mind there's an app if you need it. The app just basically does the same thing. You just, you know how they work. Anyway, your thermostat, we're in zone 1. There's no air conditioner in zone 2 at this point. But you just go through the systems, cool, which is air conditioner, heat off period. Then from mode you can go on and off. Obviously you can set the fan speed from low, high to auto. Always try to run the fan on auto when you're using the air conditioner, or just the fan. When they talk about just the fan, they're talking about the air conditioner running without the compressor, so it just circulates air, okay? All right, I gotta pick up the pace a bit here, so I'm gonna talk a little faster. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector and low battery alarm. So I'm going to set it off here. That was the LP test, carbon monoxide coming up, and low battery alert. It'll be very slowly. And back to green. It should always be green, if not, get it serviced. If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on. Okay? Now your fireplace is neat because it runs on AC power, so you don't have to use up your limited supply of LP. So this is the thermostat, or the remote control here. So you go on, you can set the appearance of the flame this way. Okay, you can set up and down and fan speed, right, this way, and it also has a timer. So you can set it to, if you get up at 7 in the morning, you could have it turn on and at 6:45 every morning, and it would take the chill out for you if it's that time of year. So it does a lot, and like I said, it heats, and you don't have to use up your limited supply of LP. This one here is for your sound, and then this is your TV here. Okay, so I'll just go over this very quickly. This plays DVDs and CDs right here. You can stream off of USB stick right there. To go into the system with a game machine or anything like that, this HDMI is an in, right? You have Bluetooth, where you can hook up wirelessly with your phone and tablet. You got AM/FM radio, and all the mode and everything that goes with it, the presets and everything. And you got 3 speaker zones: 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 3 is outside. 1 is this room, 2 is the bedroom, and 3 is outside. Z3 is zone 3. So if you were to push Z3, you can set a separate source and volume for the outside speakers, a separate source than you have inside. So you could be watching a video inside and listen to the radio outside at any volume you want, just by setting it and then pushing zone 3 and setting the outside. Okay, so it does all that and more. TV works like any other TV. You have some storage back here. Keep in mind, you can see this is the green LED glowing right there. That is the signal booster for the digital antenna. If you're using the antenna, you want this on. Otherwise, you won't get a good picture. That's off, but you want it on, or you won't get a good picture with the antenna. All right, pick up the pace, Carl. Let me see here. Obviously, you've got your chairs have power. You could drop the table down by pushing this yellow lever to the right. It'll unlock it, and there's hinges there, and it'll drop right down onto these cleats. You can turn that into a bed. Always travel with it in the down position so it doesn't bounce around and break something. Okay, let me look here. Sink and shower work like any other sink and shower, except this one has a water miser. That's this thing right here. So the idea is that it recirculates water around in a loop between the hot water tank and this fixture here. The idea is if you're in an area that has a drought, for example, you're not wasting water while you're heating it up, because it just circles around in a loop, right? Also, you're not wasting storage, because of the cold water before it heats up will just go down and you'll be storing it in your gray tank number 1. So you avoid that by, you'll put it in this position, right? You'll turn on the hot water and it'll be looping it around, just from the water heater back around in a circle. Once it heats up, this will turn a beigeish color, all right? And you'll know that's hot. Once it does that, you'll just put it in this position and it'll already be hot, right? And it'll be running like a regular shower. Let me put that up there. Right, so it's a water miser, and to circulate water in a loop is like that, and then to use it normally is like that. Like I said, you heat it up till this changes to more of a beigeish color. Keep in mind that all these things I'm showing you, you can go to the manufacturer's websites and get their information. This one is made by Aquaview, and if you go there, they've got all kinds of videos also to refresh your memory or teach you more or double check what I told you, whatever you need to do. Okay, now this is a 3-speed, 4-speed fan. Always use it with the shower. It's important because you want to vent the humidity out so you don't create a climate where mold or mildew could grow. Also, if you've got a bunch of people in the trailer you're entertaining and it's the time of year where you're going to get condensation from your breath, you could turn this on low and it'll suck it right out. You'll never have an issue with condensation in the trailer if you run this, so it's a good thing. Alright, storage. Pre-prepped for a washer-dryer combo, if you want to put that in there. Otherwise, just use it for a wardrobe. The toilet works like any other RV toilet. This is the flush pedal here. Alright, so you can't be dry. You have to have water and chemical in it to start using it. When I say it, I'm talking about the black tank, which is directly below. Okay? Now, So you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, then you'll come in here, you'll put 1 dose of chemical in the bowl, and then you'll step on the pedal, water comes swirling out, and you'll put about a gallon or so of water in the black tank with the chemical, and then you're ready to use it. If you don't do that, the smell will be overwhelming and can get clogged up also. So you always have to do it when you're starting off with an empty black tank. Some people use more than a gallon of water, that's up to you, but the main thing is you have to have water and toilet chemical in it, okay? Alright, so let me see if I forgot anything here. I know I'm going fast at times and rambling on at other times, but I think I've covered just about everything. You have all the lights. Any of the lights that don't work with a switch will have a button in the middle to turn them on. You've got storage underneath here also, so you're pre-prepped for a pre-wired for a second air conditioner if you want it also. Okay? Alright, well I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And please remember what I told you about inspecting the roof. That's very important every 90 days. Also, of course, you have to winterize before it freezes also. So just keep after it. Make sure that if you don't understand what I'm saying, there is more information in this packet here. And you can always go to manufacturers' websites and it'll tell you more about converting power or inverting power or how your solar charging system works, that sort of thing. Okay? Thank you very much.